The alarm bells rang through the research ship Horizon as it drifted near Jupiter's giant red spot. Commander Jake Morrison rushed to the bridge, his coffee spilling on the metal floor. Something was wrong. Very wrong. "What do we have, Lisa?" Jake asked Dr. Lisa Barnes, who was staring at her computer screen with wide eyes. Her face had gone completely white. "It's not one of ours," she whispered. "Jake, this thing is definitely not human." The object floating outside their ship looked like a silver needle covered in strange blue lights. It was about the size of a school bus, but it moved in ways that made no sense. The thing turned and twisted without any engines they could see. Doctor, Lisa Barnes had been studying space for 15 years. She had never seen anything like this. Her hands shook as she tried to scan the object with their instruments. The readings made no sense at all. "Can you talk to it?" Jake asked. "I'm trying," Lisa said. "But Jake, look at this data. This thing has been watching us. It has pictures of Earth, pictures of our cities, our military bases, everything." Jake felt his blood turn cold. Pictures of Earth meant someone out there knew about them. Someone had been watching them like bugs under a microscope. Far away, on a world called Zentara Prime, Ambassador Veltar was having the worst day of his very long life. The old alien looked like a tall, thin human covered in silver scales. His people, the Etherians, had lived for millions of years. They remembered things that other species had forgotten. "You fools," Veltar said to the young aliens sitting around the council table. "You have no idea what you are doing." Prince Zakth laughed. He was from the Cathari Empire, and his people looked like giant lizards that walked on two legs. They had sharp teeth and claws, and they thought they were the strongest species in the galaxy. "Old one, you worry too much," Zakth said. "These humans are just animals. They fight with metal sticks and exploding rocks. We have ships that can destroy planets." "That is exactly what the Velkari Empire said," Veltar replied quietly. "Right before the humans made them disappear forever." The other aliens in the room became very quiet. Everyone knew about the Velkari Empire. They had ruled half the galaxy until one day 3,000 years ago they just vanished. Every planet, every ship, every trace of them was gone. "The humans did that?" asked a small furry alien from the corner. "The humans did that," Veltar confirmed. "And that is why we made the law. That is why Earth is forbidden. The humans must never know we exist." Prince Zakth stood up, his tail swishing angrily. "I do not believe your old stories. Humans are weak. We will prove it." Back on the horizon, Jake Morrison was talking to Earth on the emergency channel. The man on the screen was Captain Ryan Cole, head of Earth's new space defense program. "Jake, you need to bring that thing back to Earth immediately," Ryan said. His voice was tight with worry. "If there are aliens out there, we need to know everything about them." "Already on our way," Jake replied. "But Ryan, this changes everything. We're not alone." "I know," Ryan said, "and that scares me more than I can say." Dr. Karen White was waiting for them when the Horizon arrived at Earth's space station. She was the smartest person Jake had ever met, and right now she looked terrified. "I've been thinking about this all week," Karen said as they moved the alien probe into her lab. "If they have this technology, why haven't they contacted us? Why are they hiding?" "Maybe they're afraid of us," Lisa suggested. Karen and Jake both laughed, but the laughter died quickly when they saw Lisa wasn't joking. "Lisa, look at this thing," Jake said, pointing at the probe. "This is thousands of years ahead of our technology. Why would they be afraid of us?" Lisa was quiet for a long moment. She was looking at something on her computer screen that made her frown. "Jake, look at this," she said finally. "I've been analyzing the probe's memory files. It's not just watching us now. It's been watching us for a very long time. Hundreds of years. Maybe thousands." "So?" Jake asked. "So why would advanced aliens spend thousands of years just watching primitive humans, unless what?" "Unless they're not studying us," Lisa said slowly. "Unless they're guarding us." The idea hit Jake like a punch to the stomach. "What? If the aliens weren't planning to invade Earth? What if they were trying to keep Earth locked away from the rest of the galaxy? But why would they do that? Karen asked. What could humans possibly do that would scare advanced aliens? None of them had an answer to that question, but they were about to find out. On Zentara Prime, Ambassador Veltar received the news that made his ancient heart stop beating for a moment. The humans had found the probe. They had captured it. They were studying it. How long? He asked his assistant. The Cathari probe was captured 6 days ago. Prince Zacht has ordered a fleet to Earth. They plan to attack tomorrow. Veltar closed his eyes. After 3,000 years of peace, the galaxy was about to remember why the ancient laws existed. The humans were about to wake up. And when they did, nothing would ever be the same. Contact the Council, he said quietly. Tell them to prepare for war, not with the humans. Tell them to prepare for war with the humans. The sleeping giant was about to open its eyes, and the galaxy would tremble. The first explosion came at 3 a.m, Earth time. Luna Base, humanity's first home on the moon, suddenly lit up like a small sun as alien ships appeared from nowhere. Commander Alex Turner was drinking coffee in the base control room when the walls shook. Red lights flashed everywhere, and the computer screen showed something impossible. 12 massive ships, each one bigger than a city block, were floating above the moon's surface. Marie, get down here now, Alex shouted into his radio. Chief, Engineer Marie Davis was the smartest person on Luna Base, and right now Alex needed smart more than anything else. Marie ran into the control room, still wearing her work clothes covered in grease and oil. Alex, what the hell is happening? We're under attack, Alex said. Aliens. Real ones. Through the thick windows of Luna Base, they could see the alien ships. They were dark gray and covered in strange lights that pulsed like a heartbeat. Smaller ships about the size of fighter jets were dropping from the big ships and heading straight for the base. How many people do we have here? Alex asked. 237, Marie replied. Most of them are scientists and engineers. Only 23 are security guards. Alex felt his stomach drop. 23 guards against an alien invasion. This was going to be a very short fight. The first alien soldiers landed on the moon's surface near the base. They looked like the lizard creatures from the probe data, but much bigger. Each one was 8 feet tall and covered in natural armor that looked like black metal. They carried weapons that glowed with blue energy. They're trying to cut through the main door, Marie said, watching the security cameras. Those energy weapons are melting our steel like butter. Alex grabbed the emergency communicator that connected directly to Earth. This is Luna Base calling Earth. We are under attack by alien forces. I repeat, we are under attack. The voice that answered was President Nathan Clark himself. Alex, how bad is it? Very bad, sir. We have maybe an hour before they break in. But Mr. President, these things are not trying to destroy the base. They want to capture it. They want to capture us. On Earth, President Nathan Clark was in the emergency bunker deep under the White House. General Peter Kane stood next to him, along with Dr. Helen Ross, the head of Earth's weapons research program. How is this possible? President Clark asked. Yesterday we didn't even know aliens existed. Today they're attacking us. Sir, we've been monitoring space around Earth since we found that probe, General Kane said. These ships just appeared. No warning, no signal, nothing. They came out of nowhere. Dr. Helen Ross was studying the data from Luna Base on her tablet. Mr. President, look at these weapon readings. The aliens are using some kind of plasma technology, but sir, their tactics are all wrong. What do you mean? The president asked. They're being too careful, Helen said. If they wanted to destroy Luna Base, they could have done it in seconds. Instead, they're trying to capture it intact. They want our people alive. Back on Luna Base, the alien soldiers had broken through the outer doors. Alex Turner and Marie Davis had armed every person they could find with whatever weapons they had. Most of the base crew had never fired a gun in their lives. Remember, Alex told them over the intercom, these things are big and strong, but they're not used to fighting humans. Make every shot count. The first alien soldier that entered the base corridor died instantly, Engineer Bob Smith, who had never hurt a fly in his whole life, shot it 3 times in the head with a mining laser. The creature fell down, and green blood spread across the floor. "They bleed," Marie said in surprise. "They can die." The aliens had expected the humans to surrender immediately. Instead, they found themselves fighting enemies who seemed to have no fear at all. Humans who should have been terrified were instead angry. Very angry. Dr. Lisa Barnes, who had arrived from the research ship Horizon, was in the base laboratory working on something that would change everything. She had been studying human blood samples when the attack started, and she had discovered something amazing. "Alex, get in here," she shouted over the sound of gunfire in the corridors. Alex ran into the lab, still carrying his weapon. "Lisa, what is it?" "The stress of this attack, it's doing something to our DNA," Lisa said excitedly. "Look at these blood tests. The human genetic code is changing. Parts that were sleeping are waking up." "What does that mean?" Alex asked, ducking, as an explosion shook the base. "I don't know yet," Lisa said. "But Alex, humans are getting stronger, faster, smarter. This attack is making us evolve in real time." The alien commander, a massive creature named Veltak, was becoming very worried. His soldiers had expected to capture the human base in minutes. Instead, they had been fighting for 2 hours, and the humans were getting better at killing his people. "Commander," one of his soldiers reported, "the humans are using our own weapons against us. They are learning how to fight us while they fight us." This was not supposed to happen. The Cathari had studied humans for years. They were supposed to be weak, scared animals who would give up immediately when faced with superior force. But these humans were not giving up. Instead, they were getting more dangerous with every minute that passed. On Earth, the news of the attack on Luna Base had spread to every country in just 1 hour. President Nathan Clark was talking to world leaders on every continent. "This is not just an attack on America," he told them. "This is an attack on humanity itself. We need to work together, or we're all going to die." The response was immediate. Every nation on Earth began preparing for war against an enemy they had never seen before. But they were about to learn that humans had one advantage the aliens had never expected. Humans were very, very good at war. 6 months after the attack on Luna Base, Earth was a completely different planet. Every country had stopped fighting each other and joined together to build the largest war machine in human history. Captain Ryan Cole stood on the bridge of the flagship Enterprise, looking out at the fleet of ships surrounding him. 300 vessels, all built in just 6 months using technology that humans had stolen from the aliens at Luna Base. "Tony, how are the new weapons working?" Ryan asked Chief Engineer Tony Phillips. "Better than we hoped," Tony replied with a grin. "We took their plasma technology and made it 10 times more powerful. These ships can crack a moon in half." Ryan nodded. The humans had learned something important during the Luna Base attack. Alien technology was advanced, but it was also predictable. The aliens built things to last forever, but humans built things to kill efficiently. Dr. Karen White was in the ship's laboratory, studying the most important discovery of the war. The genetic changes that had started during the Luna Base attack were spreading to humans all over Earth. "Ryan, you need to see this," Karen said over the intercom. "The DNA changes are not random, they're following a pattern." Ryan walked to the lab where Karen was showing him brain scans and genetic maps on her computer. "What am I looking at?" Ryan asked. "We're looking at evolution in fast forward," Karen said. The stress of the alien attack activated sleeping parts of human DNA, parts that have been turned off for thousands of years. "What kind of parts?" Karen pointed to the brain scans. "Enhanced pattern recognition, improved reflexes, better strategic thinking, and something else. Something that makes humans work together like a pack of wolves." Ryan felt a chill run down his spine. "Are you saying we're becoming a different species?" "I'm saying we're becoming what we used to be," Karen replied, "a very long time ago." Meanwhile, Sergeant Amy Johnson was leading the first human ground attack on an alien outpost on Mars. She moved through the alien base like a ghost, her team following behind her in perfect silence. Amy had been a police officer before the war. Now she could think 3 steps ahead of any alien commander. She could smell alien soldiers hiding around corners. She could hear their heartbeats through the walls. "Contact in 30 seconds, she whispered into her radio. "Remember, we're not here to destroy. We're here to capture and learn." The alien outpost had 50 soldiers. Amy's team had only 12 humans, but the aliens had never fought humans who had awakened their old instincts. The battle lasted exactly 4 minutes. When it was over, 47 aliens were dead, and 3 were prisoners. Amy's team had no injuries at all. "How did you know they would attack from the left corridor?" asked Private Dan Cooper, one of Amy's soldiers. "I could smell their fear," Amy said simply. "Fear has a smell. When you learn to smell it, you can predict what scared enemies will do." Dr. Helen Ross had spent 6 months turning human industry into a weapon factory. Every car company was now building spaceships. Every computer company was building targeting systems. Every chemical company was building explosives that could destroy planets. "The production numbers are incredible," Helen told President Nathan Clark during their daily meeting. "We're building ships faster than any species in galactic history." "How is that possible?" the president asked. "Because we're not building them to last forever," Helen explained. "Aliens build everything to work for thousands of years. We build everything to work long enough to win the war. It's much faster." On the alien world of Zentara Prime, Ambassador Yao Feltar was watching his worst fears come true. The Galactic Council was in complete panic as reports came in from across the galaxy. "The humans have destroyed the Kethari Third Fleet," reported a small blue alien. "All 67 ships. No survivors. The humans have captured the mining colony on Zarian Prime," said another. "They're using our own technology against us, but they've made it more deadly." Veltar stood up slowly. His ancient bones ached with the weight of what he knew was coming. "You still do not understand," he said to the council. "The humans are not just fighting us, they are remembering what they used to be." "What do you mean, old one?" asked the blue alien. Veltar walked to the center of the council chamber and activated the holographic display. Ancient images filled the air above them, images of a galaxy at war. 5 million years ago there was a species called the Destroyers, Veltar said. "They conquered half the galaxy before they disappeared. We thought they were extinct." The images showed massive battles, entire star systems burning, and ships that looked strangely familiar. "The humans are their descendants," Veltar continued. "The Destroyers did not go extinct. They spread their genetic code across thousands of worlds and then went to sleep." The council chamber became completely silent. "Earth was one of those worlds," Veltar said, "and now the Destroyers are waking." Up. Back on Earth, Commander Jake Morrison was studying intelligence reports from captured alien ships. What he found made his blood run cold. "Lisa, look at this," he said to Dr. Lisa Barnes. "The aliens have been watching us for thousands of years. Not just recently. For thousands of years, Lisa studied the alien records. Jake, according to this, every major war in human history was monitored by aliens. World War I, World War II, everything." "Why would they do that?" "Because they were studying how we fight," Lisa realized. "They've been trying to understand human warfare for centuries." Jake felt a strange smile cross his face. It was not a nice smile. "Well," he said, "I hope they learned something useful, because now they get to experience it firsthand." The sleeping giant was fully awake now, and it was very, very angry. Fleet Admiral Lucy Gray stood on the bridge of her flagship, watching as human ships surrounded the Kethari homeworld. It had taken only 8 months to hunt down the aliens who had attacked Luna Base. Now it was time to finish what they had started. "Admiral, all ships report ready," said Captain Ben Clark, her operations commander. "We have 500 ships in position around their planet." Lucy nodded. The human fleet was not the largest force in galactic history, but it was the most dangerous. Every ship had been built for one purpose: to kill aliens as efficiently as possible. "Open a channel to the planet," Lucy ordered. The face that appeared on the main screen was Prince Zakth, the alien who had ordered the attack on Luna Base. He looked afraid, which was exactly how Lucy wanted him to look. Human Commander, Zaxth, said, "We wish to discuss surrender terms." "No," Lucy replied simply. "You attacked us first. You wanted to capture us and study us like animals. Now we're going to show you what happens when you wake up the wrong species." She cut the communication and turned to her weapons officer. "Begin orbital bombardment. Target their military installations first, then their government buildings. Leave the civilian areas alone for now." The attack on the Cathari homeworld was not about destruction. It was about sending a message to every alien species in the galaxy. Humans were no longer hiding on one small planet. They were hunting. Dr. Lisa Barnes had become something she never thought she would be, a weapons designer. Her laboratory on Earth was now focused on creating biological weapons that could target alien DNA while leaving humans completely unharmed. The beauty of this approach, she explained to Dr. Mike Rogers, her partner in the weapons program, is that we can tailor each weapon to specific alien species. What kills a Cathari won't even make a human sneeze. Mike was working on something even more terrifying, space-time weapons that could make entire star systems disappear. "Lisa, look at this test data. We can create a bubble of collapsed space-time around any object. The target doesn't just get destroyed, it gets erased from reality." "How big can you make the bubble?" Lisa asked. "As big as we want," Mike replied. "We could erase their entire homeworld and make it look like it never existed." Lisa felt a cold satisfaction. The aliens had studied humans for thousands of years, watching their wars and learning their tactics. But they had missed the most important thing about humans. When humans felt threatened, they didn't just fight back. They hunted down everything that had threatened them and made sure it could never threaten them again. On Zentara Prime, Ambassador Veltar was reading reports that made his ancient heart heavy with grief. The humans were not just winning battles. They were systematically hunting down every alien species that had supported the attack on Luna Base. "The humans have destroyed the Cathari 3rd, 5th, and 7th fleets," his assistant reported. "They captured the Cathari colonies on 12 worlds, and sir, they're not taking prisoners anymore." "What do you mean?" Veltar asked, though he was afraid he already knew. "The humans are killing every Cathari soldier they find. They're not interested in surrender. They want the entire species extinct." Veltar closed his eyes. This was exactly what had happened 5 million years ago. The destroyers had not conquered the galaxy. They had cleansed it of any species they considered a threat. "Contact President Nathan Clark immediately," Veltar ordered. "Tell him I want to speak to him personally." "Sir, the humans are not accepting communications from any alien species. Tell them I have information about their true origins," Veltar said. "Tell them I know what they really are." Captain Ryan Cole was leading a strike force deep into Cathari space when the message came through. President Nathan Clark's face appeared on his communication screen, looking tired but determined. "Ryan, we're getting a communication request from an alien called Ambassador Veltar. He says he has information about human origins." "Sir, we're kind of busy hunting down the rest of the Cathari fleet," Ryan replied. "Can't this wait?" "Ryan, he says he knows what humans really are. He's offering to tell us everything if we agree to spare his species." Ryan felt his new instincts kick in. Something about this felt important. "Put him through." The face that appeared was old and tired, with silver scales and sad eyes. Ambassador Veltar looked like someone who had lived too long and seen too much. "Human Commander," Veltar said, "I know what your species is becoming. You are the children of the destroyers." "We figured that out already," Ryan said. "What else do you have?" "The location of the destroyer homeworld," Veltar replied. "The place where your ancestors built their greatest weapons. The planet where they stored the genetic templates of every species they conquered." Ryan felt his breath catch. "What are you talking about?" "Your ancestors did not just destroy other species," Veltar explained. "They preserved them. Every alien race they defeated, they kept genetic samples. They were planning to rebuild the galaxy in their own image when they were finished with their conquest." "Where is this planet?" Ryan asked. "I will tell you," Veltar said. "If you promise to spare the Etherian people, we were never part of the attack on your world. We tried to warn the others not to wake you up." Ryan looked at the old alien for a long moment. His new instincts told him this creature was telling the truth. More importantly, his human curiosity wanted to know what other secrets were waiting to be discovered. "Deal," Ryan said. "Give us the coordinates." The location that Veltar provided was in a part of the galaxy that no alien species had ever explored. It was surrounded by a field of dead stars and empty space, the perfect place to hide something important. "Admiral Gray," Ryan said over the communication system, "we have new orders. We're going treasure hunting." The destroyer homeworld was a massive planet covered in black metal cities that had been empty for millions of years. Admiral Lucy Gray led the human fleet through the dead star field, her ships moving carefully toward the planet that held all the secrets of humanity's past. "Admiral, we're detecting massive energy signatures from the planet's surface," reported Captain Ben Clark. "Whatever is down there, it's still active after all this time." "Take us into orbit," Lucy ordered, "and prepare landing teams. We're going to find out what our ancestors left for us." The first thing the humans found on the planet's surface was a message. It was written in ancient human language, carved into a metal wall that was 10 miles long and 2 miles high. Dr. Karen White translated the message while standing in the shadow of the enormous wall. It says, "To our children who will come after us, we leave you the tools to finish what we started. The galaxy belongs to humanity. Take it." Captain Ryan Cole walked through the ancient cities with a team of scientists and soldiers. Every building was perfectly preserved, as if the destroyer civilization had simply vanished yesterday instead of millions of years ago. "Look at this," said Dr. Lisa Barnes, pointing to a massive factory complex. "These machines are still working. They're building something." The machines were creating ships, not just any ships, but vessels that made the current human fleet look like toys. Each ship was the size of a small moon and covered in weapons that could destroy entire star systems. "How many ships are they building?" Ryan asked. "According to the computer records, they've been building ships for 5 million years, Lisa replied. "There are over 10,000 completed vessels in underground storage bays." Tony Phillips, the chief engineer, was studying the weapon systems with amazement. "These ships don't just have better weapons than ours. They have weapons we can't even understand yet. Some of them can make stars explode, others can move planets." But the most important discovery was in the Central Archive building. Dr. Helen Ross found genetic storage facilities that contained the DNA patterns of every intelligent species that had ever existed in the galaxy. "This is incredible," Helen said, looking at millions of storage containers. "They didn't just conquer other species, they preserved them. Every alien race that ever lived is stored here." President Nathan Clark arrived on the destroyer homeworld with a team of world leaders. They walked through the ancient archives, learning the true history of the galaxy. According to these records, President Clark said, reading from an ancient computer, the destroyers conquered the galaxy not because they were evil, but because other species kept attacking them first. "Just like what happened to us," said General Peter Kane. "The Cathari attacked Luna Base and we responded by hunting them down." "The pattern is exactly the same," agreed Dr. Karen White. "The destroyers were peaceful until other species tried to destroy them. Then they became the galaxy's apex predators." Ambassador Veltar arrived on the planet with a small fleet of Etherian ships. The old alien walked carefully through the human soldiers, knowing that his life depended on human mercy. "Your ancestors were not monsters," Veltar told President Clark. "They were protectors. When they finished conquering the galaxy, they made it peaceful for the first time in its history." "Then why did they disappear?" President Clark asked. "They didn't disappear," Veltar replied. "They scattered their genetic code across thousands of worlds and went to sleep. They were waiting for the galaxy to threaten their children. When that happened, the children would wake up and reclaim their inheritance." "You mean us," President Clark said. "I mean you," Veltar confirmed. "The galaxy has been peaceful for 5 million years because everyone remembered what happened the last time someone made the destroyers angry. But memories fade, and the Cathari forgot the old warnings. The war ended not with a great battle, but with a simple announcement. President Nathan Clark spoke to every alien species in the galaxy using the communication systems found on the destroyer homeworld. "This is President Nathan Clark of the human species," he said. "We are the inheritors of the destroyer civilization. We have reclaimed our ancestors' weapons and ships. We have taken control of our rightful place as the protectors of galactic peace. The rules are simple," President Clark continued. "Species that live in peace will be protected. Species that choose war will be eliminated. The choice is yours." The response was immediate. Every alien government in the galaxy sent messages of surrender and requests for peace treaties. The few species that chose to fight were dealt with quickly and permanently. Admiral Lucy Gray became the commander of the FEU, New Galactic Protection Fleet. Her job was to patrol human space with ships that could destroy planets. Most aliens never saw these ships, but they knew they were there. Captain Ryan Cole was promoted to Supreme Commander of Galactic Operations. He worked with friendly alien species like the Etherians to make sure the galaxy stayed peaceful. Dr. Lisa Barnes headed the new Interspecies Relations Council. Her job was to make sure that humanity's violent instincts were used to protect innocent species instead of conquering them. The genetic storage facilities on the destroyer homeworld became humanity's greatest treasure. Dr. Helen Ross led teams of scientists who worked to bring back extinct species and create new worlds where they could live in peace. "We're not just inheriting our ancestors' weapons," Helen explained to a meeting of world leaders. "We're inheriting their responsibility. The galaxy is ours to protect now." Tony Phillips built massive shipyards around Earth and the destroyer home world. The new ships combined ancient destroyer technology with modern human engineering. They were the most powerful vessels ever created. The galaxy learned to live under humanity's protection. Most species found that life was better under human rule than it had ever been under the old Galactic Council. Humans stopped wars before they started and made sure that weak species were protected from strong ones. Ambassador Veltar became humanity's first alien advisor. His people, the Etherians, shared their ancient knowledge with humans and helped them understand their role as galactic protectors. "Your ancestors would be proud," Veltar told President Clark during one of their regular meetings. "You have become what they always hoped you would become." "What's that?" President Clark asked. "The Guardians of Peace," Veltar replied. "The galaxy is safer now than it has been in millions of years. The universe had lived by one rule for 5 million years. Don't wake the humans. Now it had new rules, written by human hands and enforced by human strength. The sleeping giant was awake, and it was making sure that no one would ever need to be afraid again."